AdventNows.com.
Experience hot gaming action and a relaxing spa day. Your perfect winter getaway at the island. Book a stay and float package to get both a standard room and a rejuvenating 60-minute float pod therapy session for less than $100. Complement your stay with an elevated dining experience at Horizon Steakhouse and fun on the gaming floor where big wins wait for you. The Island Resort and Casino's stay and float package runs through February. Call 800-682-6040 to book yours today. Certain days and restrictions apply.
Join Cousins Club Rewards today. Grab your first sub and your next one could be free. After your first qualifying purchase, you'll earn a free sub and start collecting points for free food, exclusive deals, and even Cousins gear. Sign up today. It's fast and easier than ever on the Cousins Subs app. Earn points online, on the app, or in store. However you enjoy Cousins Subs, your rewards are right at your fingertips. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This hour of Unsportsmanlike is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes and keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. nealgroup.net.
A little bit of a backup westbound on 94 from just before the stadium interchange all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound is tightening up just east of 76th Street all the way past 68th. Overall, we're looking pretty good. Couple of broken down vehicles along 43, but they are out of traffic, so not really affecting your ride. Might be a little slick out there depending on where you are. Just be extra careful. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning rain switching over to snow. It'll be windy with less than an inch in Milwaukee, up to 2 inches to the far west, a high of 40. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
We debate about an awful lot of things in the sports space. Like, for one, why are my headphones not working?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like where I'm sitting. We're off to a weird start today. All right, we're off to a really weird start.
Well, somebody TKO'd your microphone.
I mean, that is putting it lightly. What the hell happened during KBN yesterday?
Yeah, it looks like Kung Fu fighting.
I have asks out to some sources to see what happened.
I mean, did they just Office Space that thing? They bring in a baseball bat and just go to town? All that's left of what should be a microphone are just a couple of wires and a little nub.
Some might say a band of gold. Chewy's not here today, hanging out with his pals, taking a personal day. So Gabe has slid over to Chewy's spot, and it feels weird.
It feels weird. I don't like it. I'd like, because again, usually to talk to Jen, I go to my right. Now that's where Will is. To my left is Jen. Like I don't like it.
This
I don't like it.
reminds me of when I believe it was the philosopher David Bakhtiari.
Yep.
Might not have been, but it was definitely an offensive lineman for your Green Bay Packers who said that switching from left side to right side was trying to wipe your you-know-what with the other hand.
With the other hand, yeah.
Is this what it feels like, you think?
Yeah, it's ugly, but it gets the job done, I believe is the remaining part of that quote.
It's a great quote.
You say I'm ugly?
No, that's
Call
not.
me
Oh,
ugly.
God. Are we going to have sensitive
What's
Will in
going
today?
on?
You managed to survive Chewy's attempted assassination on your career yesterday, on your baseball career. You survived that, but you're going to be sensitive when I use the word ugly, when he uses the word ugly. We're not talking about you, Will. It's not always about you.
No, I'm talking about what used to be my microphone. Like, honestly, we got Craig coming in here today. I guess he can be cozy with Jen, sit right next to Jen there.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm going to got that extra mic
I'm
over
gonna
there.
text the KBN crew, see what happens.
When you said you had asks out to sources, I just assumed that's who you were texting. You texted someone other than the KBN
It's my
crew?
sources. I got sources,
good,
Jen.
Yeah, a good reporter never reveals those sources, Jen. You know that. Yeah, it's just weird. I don't. Okay, maybe we'll get used to it by the end, but turning left to look at you to talk to you is just, it's going to throw me off the entire day.
Yeah. It's like when you're in Europe and you have to drive on the other side of the road.
So I have fortunately avoided doing that.
Oh.
Have you done that?
Yeah. Mixed reviews.
Okay. All right.
There may have been an incident.
I wasn't going to out you, all right? I just, I
feel like the statute of limitations is passed on that at this point, right?
You cause an international incident?
No, not really. But when we were in Berlin, you drive on the other side of the road. So making left turns, that's a doozy.
Okay.
Because you're on the other side of the car and you're making the left turn. So I may have misjudged.
So does left turn have the right of way then?
I
Like
don't
the right
know.
turn
But
does?
I don't speak German. What do the signs say?
I said it in English.
Yes.
The question was in English. It's a good point by Will.
Excellent point by you. But what I'm saying is the signage that would have been instructing me one way or another is in another language. Want to get to the big news today that Pat Murphy, and I don't know if it's big news. It's big news for Pat. It's big news for the Brewers, but it sort of falls under the no-brainer. It sort of falls under the duh category. Brewers manager Pat Murphy's contract extended through 2028 with a club option for 2029. I think, Brewers fans should be celebrating this. But also, if you didn't do this, Milwaukee Brewers, what the hell were you doing? Pat Murphy is your back-to-back National League Manager of the Year, Gabe. And I got to tell you, I don't know, and I'm not so far as Chewy is on the I will believe anything, follow anything that the Milwaukee Brewers put out there. But this, to me, is absolutely something I can get behind.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back Manager of the Year in the National League. Apparently, I didn't even realize this until this contract yesterday. This was the last year of the contract, which I guess makes sense, giving him a 3-year deal, taking over for Craig. So they wanted to make sure, hey, we're going to take care of that. We're not going to have the lame duck situation. Add 2 more years plus a club option. He's now one of the highest paid managers in all of baseball. And that it just makes me chuckle and laugh because he takes over after being the bench coach for Craig Counsell. And it's just funny to me because Craig left in part. Now it helps that the Cubs made him the highest paid manager in baseball. Brewers weren't going to make him, the highest paid manager ever, but they're going to give him pretty good money like they just gave to Murph. And, well, he wanted the money. He wanted more money to spend. And all he's done the last 2 years is continuously lose to Pat Murphy and the Milwaukee Brewers. So you could have had it all, Craig. Could have had it all up here. But instead, Murph took over and it just brings a slight smile to my face that Murph has been able to extend this and make an NLCS last year and see what they can do this year with Murph.
I will tell you that this is one of those universal situations. What do I mean by that? I have never heard a person say a single bad thing about Pat Murphy, right? And the more success you have in any given field, the more you'll find detractors. Most of it's envy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jealousy. I have never heard anyone say a bad thing about this guy.
Yeah.
I've never heard them, question certainly his coaching acumen, but just a good dude and a leader, right? Like you got people in other positions and sometimes you're questioning their leadership skills. Will, you got that sound from Pat Murphy addressing the team just a few days ago when they all reported to Maryvale for spring training. I mean, this is just another example of like, this guy was made to be a leader, to be a coach, to be in this position. Take a listen.
Call us whatever you want, underdog, call us whatever the hell you want. We found out what matters is who's in this room. What we got in this room, we can do anything we want. We're about people, we're about teams. Wherever you're from, whatever color you are, whatever you believe in, as long as you want to commit to winning baseball. Not Major League Baseball's way of saying, on paper, this team is this. We don't care. This is who we want to become. We got to pitch, we got to base run, we got to defend, play offense. That's how we do it. And we don't worry about what anybody thinks. We stick to our standards, and you'll have another incredible season. And don't be shocked.
Chills.
Yep.
I mean, the music helps.
Yeah, the classical post-production music helps. As somebody who puts these things together for a living, I understand the impact that a good track can have on a segment. But there was something about it, Gabe, right? We're just listening to it also. You can watch it. The Brewers have shared it on all of their social media platforms, so you can watch it as well. But what is it about Murph that he makes you feel that way, even when you're not one of his players?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think he keeps it short and sweet. He doesn't... It's not a mystery. Like it's never a mystery with Murph. He's going to let you know where you stand. He's going to be upfront with you. Everybody... How long was that clip, Will? 50 seconds?
40 seconds.
And you already know what your expectations are. Like everybody in that room, if you're listening, now you know what your expectations are. Yeah, maybe individually those things tweak a little bit, but in 40 seconds, he was able to effectively communicate what your expectations for an entire season of baseball are. And that's rare, to be that effective a communicator, that good of a leader, and have everybody just respect you. Like you said, I mean, you can find guys that don't like certain coaches and might speak off the record, might speak on the record as players. I haven't seen that at all. I mean, even going back, I mean, this guy's been in baseball for how long? And doing it at all different levels, doing it at the collegiate level, the minor league level, at the major league level. He's done it all. And I think because he has that type of experience, that just commands the respect of everybody that he's trying to lead in the Brewers clubhouse.
All right, so this is a weird analogy, but follow me through this sliding doors moment. If the Brewers would have given Craig Counsell nearly $9 million, because I think that's reported what the number is. Did I see 8 point something?
Yeah, 8 something, yeah. 8 or 9, whatever.
8.95 is what Jeff Passan is reporting. So let's a tick under $9 million. Would Craig Counsell still be the skipper of the Milwaukee Brewers?
If they offered, well, so the 8.95 is new money, so I don't know how that's spread out for Murph. But if they would have given the same contract, the $8 million to Counts, $8 million per year, the way that the Cubs did, I doubt it. I doubt it. I think that ultimately for Counsell, it was more about what he thought the money the Cubs have and spend and can spend, and I think we know the Cubs could even spend a little bit more. I think that was what was enticing to him. I think that he felt like there was a glass ceiling on the Brewers that they just can't break through. And again, maybe he ends up being right, but he's got to beat the Brewers first. And that's the funny part to me, is the team that's preventing him from doing the things he wants to do is his old team. And I hope that just continues into 2026 and 2027 and 2028 and maybe 2029 with a club option for Pat Murphy.
What percentage of the manager in place / coach, of course, if we're going cross sports here, contributes to your confidence in the team, in the franchise each year? I would argue it's pretty big. Now, I know there are detractors out there that say that coaching doesn't matter in certain spaces. I hear it all the time about the NBA, that the coaching doesn't matter. Okay, I don't believe that. I think that coaching still matters. You got to remember I'm the daughter of a coach, so I'm probably programmed to believe that. I still call every person who is a coach, even when I know their first name, even when I'm chumming with them. Hey, coach, how's it going? No, Jen, you can call me Drake. Okay. Thanks, coach. But I think it's important. I think it's significant. And I think Pat Murphy is an example of, when you talk about the reasons why Chu, who again is not here with us today, is confident year in and year out about the Brewers' ability to compete, to put a good product on the field. Yes, it comes down to what Matt Arnold and the front office do and the buttons they push and the levers they pull. But I think a lot of his confidence is knowing that Murph is captaining that ship. Do you agree?
I think for the Brewers, it matters more than a team. Now, I think Dave Roberts is a very good manager for the Dodgers, but I know Yankee fans don't like Aaron Boone, right? But they're still going to be one of those teams because they spend money. Same thing with the Mets. Right? So I think for the Brewers, who are trying to get an advantage in every single area where they can because they don't have the money advantage. They're never going to have that. Even if you think Atanasio should spend more money, that doesn't matter. They can't spend Dodger money, Met money, that type of thing. So for a team that spends, we talked a lot yesterday about how much they've invested into their minor league system because that's an advantage they think that they can pull from. They think that, hey, we're going to be a team that base runs and defends because we can get an advantage there. Having Murph be that guy, even if it's just the difference of a win or 2 wins, right? Over the course of 162 doesn't seem like that much, but can mean so much in the standings. So for a team like the Brewers, having somebody that makes you feel great about the team, and let's be honest, I mean, he's one of the faces of the franchise. Because the Brewers have a little bit more turnover than the rest of the teams do, because they're not signing guys to huge contracts. So he ends up being one of the stars of the team, and I think that's part of the reason why you feel good about the Brewers, because you know and trust the guy that's in charge.
Interesting when you mention face of the franchise, because obviously for so many people, Bob Uecker came to mind. Mm-hmm. And Bob will always be inextricably tied to this franchise, to this community, to this city, etc. But it is interesting how the timelines sort of crossed over. And now with Uke being gone, not the voice of Brewers baseball anymore, Murph has had the success. Murph has been the guy, again, 2-time National League Manager of the Year. I agree with you. He's the face of the franchise. Like, I don't think there's anybody else right now. Again, Uke was always that guy.
Yeah.
And this is taking nothing away from him, but there sort of was this passing of the torch, and it doesn't happen if Murph isn't having the level of success he's having now. We just played the audio for you from Murph in the clubhouse addressing his team, getting them all pumped up. Gabe and I are ready to run through a frickin' brick wall this morning. Just for funsies.
Why are you doing this? What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you mean it's not you? You're the one setting it up.
What are you doing, Jen?
What are you doing? You already threw Matt under the bus once this week.
Will.
You're going to do it again?
We're just comparing extended coaches.
Will got in my ear and said, don't forget. Sorry, Will, you're a meat shield now. Play the audio.
Every time you step on that court, you play like that. You be tough, a really tough team to beat. But that was fun to watch. Keep it rolling now, one day at a time. We'll stack this.
All right. This is first of all, that's not even Matt's team. All right. Who knows if he was planning on speaking that night? And he doesn't. You know what? I bet that would sound better if you put that sweet music underneath it.
You know what? You're going to do that during one of these breaks, and we're going to test that theory. That's for sure.
Sound a lot better, I think.
I think we might need to give Chewy an extension after his speech yesterday, too.
Why not, you guys? Why not? No one's counting on it. You just go out there and play. Screw Michigan. Screw Ohio State. Just go out and beat them.
Signetti
it all starts right here with heart. Okay? I know y'all have a heart, but how big is that thing?
It's not bad.
I mean, that's closer to LaFleur than it is.
I think it's in the middle.
The fact that he ends the speech with, how big is that thing?
I know you got one.
I'm sure there would be an appropriate gesture to the heart, right? He'd be tapping up here,
with
right?
His pen.
Oh,
Yeah.
But you were thinking of a different gesture he might have been making?
I'm just saying we can't see him, so use your imagination. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Congratulations to Pat Murphy, who got an extension with the Milwaukee Brewers. Well-deserved, no-brainer, no shock. It's a duh moment for the organization, but I'm glad they got it tied up, taken care of, so it doesn't linger and cause any distractions as the season gets underway. We've got Jason Wilde coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
In healthcare, change is constant. At Fifth Third Bank, we help you organize your organization thrive with local expertise and comprehensive financial solutions. From optimizing capital structure to revenue cycle management and commercial payment tools, we're here to empower your growth. For nearly 20 years, our dedicated Milwaukee team has partnered with healthcare and not-for-profit organizations, building trust-based relationships that last. Experience the difference only Fifth Third can provide to help your organization thrive, especially with the great people they have at Fifth Third here in Milwaukee. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 43 still looking pretty good all the way into the Marquette. We do have some delays coming out of the stadium interchange on westbound 94 past Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's backed up just east of 76th Street to Holly Road. And we do have a crash eastbound 94 at Moreland Road on the left shoulder. So just something to be careful with. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning rain switching over to snow. It'll be windy with less than an inch in Milwaukee, up to 2 inches to the far west, a high of 40. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Yeah, coaching matters a lot, and we've fallen short. Those are the facts. Matt LaFleur's on the clock, man. And I know he got an extension, but I'll say this. If they revert and don't get better, you're evaluated on your results.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Everybody knows, it's championship or bust. That is what Green Bay is. And unfortunately, we've had 15 years of bust.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN. ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Are you looking for a weight loss option that works? That's where I could tell you about Milwaukee Weight Loss. I'm Josh DiMaggio, and I'm starting that journey with Milwaukee Weight Loss. From the first consultation, their team really listened and built a customized plan around me and my goals. I've lost almost 25 pounds to this point. I'm feeling my best, and I'm trying all sorts of new foods. This Valentine's month, Milwaukee Weight Loss is sharing the love with $300 off during their Valentine's sale, now through February 28th only. This program has different, no intense workouts, no prepackaged meals, no counting calories, no drugs, surgery, or injections. Some people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just a month or two. Milwaukee Weight Loss has already helped thousands of people change their lives. There's no better time than now to take control and start feeling confident again. Schedule a free consultation at 262-235-3980 or visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Want your brand to turn heads and win hearts?
Captivate Exhibits can bring your brand to life by transforming lobbies, creating history walls, and beautifying facilities.
For over 32 years, Captivate has been the MVP of trade show exhibits and workplace design and fabrication. Let Captivate craft immersive branded environments that tell your story boldly, beautifully, and with purpose at events and around the office.
Score big by making your next event or your own space unforgettable. Create something legendary by getting started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
We love the Packers. We bleed green and gold. And every time our team takes the field, well, it's pure football bliss. If only there was a way to experience that blissful winning feeling every day. At Associated Bank, we've got you with 10% off Lambeau concessions and 15% off Pro Shop merch. All when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank. It's how Packers fans keep winning on game day and every day. Associated Bank, Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Imagine working with a contractor that quits halfway through a project or never calls you back when you have questions, or worse, takes your money and you never see them again. Unfortunately, we hear about them all the time. Hi, this is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and Siding Unlimited is absolutely not that company. Siding Unlimited has been doing business for 32 years, proving to be an honest, ethical, and forthright company. If you're looking for the honest guys for your next siding, windows, roofing, and doors project, stop by sidingunlimited.com today.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Just jump on it.
That's what he did.
Chewy, jump on it. Jump on it. Jump on it. Slow down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Ready, down. Put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Exterior Pros. Ready to tackle your home improvement project? Exterior Pros and Baths is giving $3,000 off roofing, siding, windows, or bath remodels this month. Visit extpros.com.
We really enjoy our time with our friend and teammate Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason. How you doing today?
Hi-de-ho, neighbors. How are you?
Hi-de-ho, home improvement.
We're still getting used to the setup we got today, Jason. Somebody looks like somebody took a baseball bat to the microphone I typically use. Apparently, it's a mystery because it was fine for Brad Nortman on KBN yesterday. So now the big guy's gone, so I'm sitting in his chair, which is opposite. So, like, in order to look at Jen, I have to turn to my left instead of my right. It's very disorienting.
Yeah, we have video cameras in there, right? So you should. I don't want to turn this into like a Law and Order episode or FBI, but shouldn't we be able to determine who the perpetrator was?
I don't think these cameras are recording at all times. I think they're only recording while we're actually, doing things on the radio.
Well, sounds like we might want to reconsider that policy.
Just have the cameras rolling nonstop. Will has a theory as he gets the appropriate music ready for this.
I don't know if I have a theory.
Yeah, you think it was stolen?
I think it was stolen. I have video.
Who's stealing a microphone?
I don't know.
And why would you steal that specific microphone? You got to pass two other microphones to get to that
That's
one.
a very good
That
point
is the
by
part
you.
that gets me. You walked past two other microphones to get to that third one that was taken.
Maybe.
And there was
maybe
no
it's
email
personal.
sent out. Oh, well, Gabe, that would be your microphone. Do we want to continue to pull on this thread?
That could consider the motives here. Maybe there's someone who is so jealous of Gabe's incredible national success. I get texts all the time. Hey, Gabe is on the radio from Pipe Jim and my other friends who are big fans of Gabe. Maybe there's some jealousy here, and someone said, you know what? I want to mess with this guy, Mr. Big Time National Radio guy. I'm going to steal his microphone. How do you like that theory?
Imagine their
Just call me
disappointment
Lenny
this morning.
Briscoe.
Imagine their disappointment this morning, Law and Order, when Gabe just slid over to the other side of the studio.
Yeah, but it's making him uncomfortable.
It is making me uncomfortable.
He's belly aching about it, so
That's true.
maybe the goal has been accomplished.
I
It's
don't
thrown
think
him off his game.
We can't eliminate Gabe from the investigation too, right?
What?
Oh, you think
I
this
did
is some
this?
sort
Yeah.
of a
To myself?
Maybe.
inside
Self-sabotage?
job?
The call is coming from inside the house?
As the lead investigator here, I have to consider all
How
options.
did you get appointed lead investigator?
If Will is the lead investigator, I don't see this case getting closed.
Not a bad point.
All right, Jason, let's pivot to the Green Bay Packers. I saw a list that Mike Clay of ESPN put out, basically compiling all of the offensive linemen who theoretically would be back next season for each of the teams in the league. And I got to be honest with you, I wasn't super excited about the performance of the offensive line in Green Bay compared to what is a projected offensive line for the Bears, the Lions, or the Vikings. It was the worst. That's an easy way of putting it. How concerned should we be about the Packers' offensive line? Usually they're good about backfilling these things and having these people like ready to step in and take over when free agents are leaving. Are we on a DEFCON level here?
Yes, you should be very concerned. I think it's, with the possible exception of corner, I think it's the biggest thing to worry about if you're a Packers fan. If the season started today, which obviously it doesn't, it would be Jordan Morgan at left tackle. I don't know. We can't say for certain that it would be with his $24.7 million cap number. I don't think we can say for certain that it's Aaron Banks at left guard. I still think they're more likely to restructure than cut ties, but I'm not ruling that out. But let's just say Aaron Banks at left guard for argument's sake. Jacob Monk at center. Anthony Belton at right guard. And then we can't say for certain if the season started today, it wouldn't be Zach Tom at right tackle because he's coming off patellar tendon surgery. So I don't know if it's Travis Glover or who the next guy. Darian Kennard, he's a restricted free agent. So my point is that they got a lot of work to do there. And they're going to let Rashid walk. I think they're going to let Sean Ryan walk. I think they're going to cut Elton Jenkins. And so, yeah, I don't want to say that it's been overshadowed because I know, especially on Wednesdays when our show is me with not one but two offensive linemen for a good chunk of the program, we've spent a lot of time on it. And it is a concern, and especially because, you think back to that Bears playoff loss, And they were cooking in the first half, right? They were protecting Love because the Bears' pass rush stinks. But in the second half, especially in those first 4 series, Dennis Allen dialed up some pressures, and they worked. And that offensive line didn't handle them very well. And they ended up with 4 punts, 19 total yards, and 1 first down in those first 4 series when that was the time to put the game away so you didn't have to worry about a 25-point fourth quarter beating you. So, again, I look at that offensive line, and Jen, you nailed it. Historically, they've always had guys that were ready to rise up and fill voids when they let people leave. In fact, it didn't work in 2009, but they even had a replacement for Tausch waiting, right? Alan Barber, who actually went on to have a pretty decent career, but he was terrible in 2009, forcing them to re-sign Tausch at midseason as his ACL was finally healthy. And without re-signing him, they might have missed the playoffs. Like, he was a turnstile. And then Tausch put a stop to that. So, yeah, they're not only are they going to let some guys walk that they're not going to pay, not only was their big-ticket free agent signing last year on the offensive line not good enough to be able to unequivocally say, he'll be back, but they don't have that depth where you say, okay, well, I feel good even if we let this guy walk because we got this guy. I don't even know if you could say that about Jordan Morgan, a first-round pick, where you would say, well, I feel really good about where we're at left tackle, and we can let Rasheed Walker go. Because I think it's more like, well, we haven't really played him at left tackle very often, so hopefully he turns out to be what we thought he was when we drafted him.
If you had money to spend on only one position in free agency this offseason, would that be it, offensive line?
I mean, if I had money this offseason, I wouldn't spend it on their offensive line at all. I've got a lot of other things I'd like to buy instead. But yes,
hey, you're not delinquent on any other bills, are you, Jason?
I'm not. I am going to text Keith/Mark Neitzel today because Paul has been getting after me about some electrical issues, and Lord knows no one wants me touching that, or I won't be joining the show ever again. Yes, I would, Gabe. And, Tausch and I and Bulaga's obviously an Iowa guy.
Oh, he loves the center. He loves the center.
We love Tyler Linden. Yep. No. Wait a minute now. There's an Iowa center in the draft, you say?
Uh-huh, yeah. And Bulaga, so when I did the Homer Hour earlier this week with Bulaga, he said that if that guy's there in the second round, that's who the Packers should take.
Okay, so
It's not the mullet guy, right?
Yeah, I'd have to look up his name. I don't know if he has a mullet or not.
There's a kid from Iowa whose name is Jennings Dunker, and he's kind of becoming a cult hero because he's like
the new Quinn Miners.
Yes.
Remember when Quinn Miners came out of UW Whitewater and everybody loved him because of his gut?
Right?
Yeah, he has been. He got a huge extension. He's really good. Well, so that adds I'm glad, Gabe. This is why I sabotaged your microphone because I'm so jealous of how good you are at this. That adds a different wrinkle because speaking of centers from Iowa, we spent a good chunk of our show yesterday talking about Tyler Linderbaum, who is the center from the Ravens, who is going to be an unrestricted free agent, former first-round pick that they didn't give a fifth-year option to either. And our argument was cut Aaron Banks. You could even make him a post-June 1 cut and go get Linderbaum, who I think a lot of people think is just going to end up in New York with the Giants because John Harbaugh is going to want him to be his center there. But go get him, pay him. Now you've got your nerve center at that position resolved because it was not like and I really like Sean Ryan. Like, he's tough. He swears a lot. Like, he's kind of my kind of offensive lineman.
Yeah, because when I think Jason Wilde, I think curse words, yes.
Well, no, I enjoy no, I'm not. Yeah, that's not my I don't work in profanities like some artists work in clay or whatever they say in a Christmas Story, but he he's got that kind of attitude, right? He's an offensive line guy. But if we're being honest, like, he played better than Elton Jenkins did, who clearly was miscast there, even though Elton himself thought he could play there. But, like, he wasn't great. So, like, I don't see him as a priority re-sign. And, you know, you let Josh Myers walk because he wasn't good enough either. Well, this offensive line has been at its best. And look, they've had some really good left tackles. You know, Bakhtiari was awesome, right? But they were at their best when they had a really good center, right? When they had Scott Wells, when they had Corey Lindsley. And whether it's drafting this kid from Iowa or signing a guy that went to Iowa, that would potentially solve one of your issues, and then you can figure the rest out. But to put a bow on this, as Tausch likes to say, the offensive line for a team that is still, I think, the third best in terms of Super Bowl odds out of the NFC for 2026, they got some problems there that they have to resolve.
Logan Jones, by the way. Logan Jones is the kid's name.
Okay, so he's not mullet guy.
No.
Different guy.
Yeah, different guy. Logan Jones is the one that Blue was singing the praises of and saying if he's available when the Packers pick in the second round, that's who he would like to see.
Two last name guys. I don't know about those guys. Logan Jones.
Logan.
Last names, right?
I mean, I
Logan's
think
the last name?
I mean, it can be, but I look at Logan as more of a first name. And if Logan's your last
Do
name,
you
it's
really?
a first name. It's a last name that's a first name. Yeah.
So, like, is Gabriel is that a last name or is that a first name? That's a first name, right?
I would say that's a first name. Yeah.
But Roman Gabriel, so he was I thought maybe he's a two first name guy, Roman Gabriel.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
All
would be a two
I'm
first name.
derailing. We don't have Chewy here, so somebody's got to mess up.
Will the Thrill just reminded us of Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another good example.
Jason, it seems...
I'm not watching right now, but I can picture the three of you all looking at each other going, the hell is Jason drunk? What is he doing?
Jason, the news is still being dominated by the Rich Bisaccia move. Are you hearing any names that fans should be paying attention to as far as the replacement for Rich Bisaccia?
Well, I know our buddy Bill Huber at Sports Illustrated, who lives for this kind of stuff, had two names for guys that are set to be interviewed. I got my guy. I want Ben Kutnica, which I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. But this guy was the interim special teams coordinator for the Rams after they fired Chase Blackburn in December. But I wasn't familiar with Ben's game. He was a team captain at Army, played linebacker for them. And then he went served in Iraq. He was a helicopter pilot. And then he got into coaching. And he's been a coordinator elsewhere previously in his career. Again, it's not my job to care about whether special teams are good or not. And quite frankly, it would appear since 2007, as Gabe mentioned yesterday, it doesn't matter who coaches them because they're probably going to be mediocre at best. So let's get a guy in there that's got a good story. So Ben's my guy. I want to talk to him about his military service. And when we have Salute the Service Month, it'll be a perfect feature story. So Ben, I want Ben because, dude, if you're flying helicopters over Iraq, I would think you can figure out who the hell's going to return punts.
No I in team, but there's a me in media. Jason, thank you for reminding us. Hey, have a great weekend, sir. I'm sure you have some activities of your girls you're going to attend to, and I hope that those all go really well.
No gymnastics meets to run into you at, but we do have a volleyball tournament. So we've had 3 straight weekends of gymnastics meets. So I'm ready to stop spending 5 hours at a gym to watch each of my children compete for about 4.5 minutes. So, yeah. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
One of these days, I'm going to have to tell you guys about the rant that Dario has gone on when it comes to gymnastics scoring because he doesn't understand it at all.
Yeah. There's nuance in there, I'm sure.
What do you mean that was a deduction? I didn't see anything wrong with it. Oh, do you fancy yourself a gymnastics expert now, sweetheart? Covering that on Channel 12 Sports?
You might.
We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We roll on right after this. Stick around.
Boost culture with captivating corporate events like appreciation parties, brand activations, and more. All you have to do is contact our friends at Events by Design. Look, you have probably been to something that Events by Design has had a hand in and maybe don't even know it. I didn't know it last year when they went to the Bucks soiree. I was at that event. Events by Design helped out with that. They were assisting in the night market this year. Maybe you checked that out. It's right in front of our offices here on Wisconsin Avenue. Maybe you went to the holiday market in front of Fiserv Forum back in November. Those are all things Events by Design help put on, and they can help you put on a great events like that because for over 25 years, Events by Design has helped companies execute successful events. Retain top talent. Invest in that culture today. Just search online. Events by Design. They design, you party.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We have an accident eastbound 94 just past Moreland Road. Left shoulder is blocked right now. Cars are getting past it without too much of an issue, so that's good news. We do have another crash on 94 southbound at Elm Road. Left shoulder is blocked with this one, and it looks like folks are able to get past it as well. But you do want to be extra careful. The roads are kind of wet, so just be extra careful and give them enough room to work around that area. Traffic is brought to you by Glenroy, now hiring. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning rain switching over to snow. It'll be windy with less than an inch in Milwaukee, up to 2 inches to the far west, a high of 40. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Another two-man scramble tournament is underway. Play TPC Scottsdale for a shot at cash prizes. Must play by February 28th. Sign up now at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Wisconsin is still cattle country, and that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com. Access to education changes lives. That's why National University provides flexible online and hybrid programs from associate to doctorate degrees. Since 1971, NU was built to serve non-traditional working and military learners nationwide. NU understands the demands of work, family, and service. Each year, more than 130,000 learners trust National University to move forward. Visit nu.edu to learn more.
Bundling your home and auto with Progressive could help you save without sacrificing quality. It's the smart thing to do. And as a hockey fan, you always know the smart thing to do.
Shoot the puck!
And you let the players know it.
Shoot the puck!
All game.
Shoot it! Come on, shoot!
And sometimes even after.
Man, rough game, huh?
Yeah, they should have shot the puck.
So bundle your home and auto with Progressive. It's the smart thing to do. But you already knew that. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But remember he said his birthday?
Yeah.
Maybe we get a little freaky.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, look at our horny little boy. Good for him. Like, everybody's so supportive of Giannis, they just kind of look past it.
On 94.5 ESPN.
We've enjoyed having Professional Construction Inc. help us out with our home projects. As you might know, my husband and I are not the most handy, but when you have a project crop up like we have, we rely on our friends over at PCI. Whether it's a remodeling project, a home addition, or maybe you're thinking about building a brand new home, the PCI team is here for you. Did you know PCI was at my house yesterday? Had a project idea, brought the guys out. Mike was wonderful, told me why my idea will not work, which was disappointing. But I appreciate the expertise and the knowledge, right? Because otherwise I get about halfway into a project and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't think this is going to work. My friends over at PCI keep me on the straight and narrow. You can learn more at professionalconstructioninc.com. That's professionalconstructioninc.com. A lot of stuff to still get to this morning, including what the heck is going on with the Chicago Bears, or should I say the Hammond Bears. We'll dive into that as the show rolls on. We were talking earlier this morning about the offensive line with Jason Wilde. Gabe, what is your level of concern when you look at that chart? And I would encourage everybody to pull it up if they can, or look at it if they can. Mike Clay from ESPN put out a list. He basically took all of the positions on the offensive line and graded them based on how they did this past year. Very green and red and white and that type of thing. Green is good, white is average, red is, of course, bad. And then bright red is weren't even a starter in 2025. And he's projecting the offensive lines in 2026. And that's where I got a little nervous comparing what he has for Green Bay to what the Lions have, the Vikings have, and the Bears have.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Tom, fantastic. Middle of the line, question mark. Jordan Morgan was fairly average. And I'm guessing that's where Rasheed Walker probably would have graded out too, so I don't think it matters who you have in that left tackle spot. But figuring out I guess I didn't realize how bad Anthony Belton was. I thought, yeah, there were some moments where it didn't work out, but he's a young guy learning to play that position.
But he's a below average pink.
So
I guess.
when I look at that, yeah, he's not like one of the darker red. But when I look at it, I mean, is it a guarantee that he's starting at right guard next year? If they can find somebody better? That's where the offensive line is so interesting, because outside of the two tackle positions, it feels like everything else is potentially up for grabs. It feels like, yes, Jordan Morgan, you put a first-round pick into him, he's going to be your left tackle because it'd be too expensive to bring back Rasheed Walker, and honestly, Morgan struggled on the interior. Played better at right tackle when Zach Tom was out. Hopefully, he can make that transition to left tackle. And Zach Tom, when healthy, is one of the best right tackles in all of football. He gets paid like that. But the interior three, having to turn that over, it's a little worrisome. It's a little concerning to me, because if Aaron Banks isn't back, and I just keep coming back to, you're not saving enough to cut him. It just doesn't make sense why you would open up another hole along your offensive line. And I'd be really curious to know what his grade was the last 7 weeks of the season, because once he got healthy, it seemed like he was playing better. And maybe that was a false perception by me, but it seemed like he was playing better. So I'd be curious to know what that would look like. But the interior of this line needs to be better for the Packers to do what we talk about them doing. If they want to have any chance, you got to have a better interior three next year, or they have to play better than what we got out of the Packers interior three this year.
So to be clear again, Mike Clay posted this on social media. You can take a look at it. It is a current look at each NFL team's offensive lines with all of the undrafted free agents removed. So it's sort of projecting again who would be there if the free agents are gone. And I think it's worrisome that the Chicago Bears, and we know that they invested a ton of money into their offensive line. That was a big priority for them last year. Are green across the board with one exception, and it's a white, which is average. So they've got a bright green. They got 3 regular greens. I don't know, light greens. They got one. Their left tackle is a average performer. You go up to the Detroit Lions, and they have green, pink, white, bright green in Penei Sewell.
One of the best right tackles in football.
Correct. And then you go over to Minnesota, and they are green across the board. I'm sorry, I call it white, green,
yeah.
but white is average, but green at 3 of the positions and white at 2. So again, it's a remedial-ish graph, but the Packers on this graph, guys, are by far the worst offensive line in the division. And that should be raising alarm bells for fans. And you would hope, Gabe, the front office, who obviously needs to improve at this position.
Yeah, they blew up the offensive line. And for what reason, it's unknown, right? Why? In retrospect, I guess it's easy to say, man, they should probably just kept Josh Myers at center, especially as cheap as he was, and try to figure out everything else and not ask Elton Jenkins, who had become so good at right guard, but they thought he could transition seamlessly over to center. And signing Aaron Banks just blew up this offensive line. And I don't know if there's an easy fix. Like, it was easier to be torn down from being a couple of years ago one of the top offensive lines in football, and it blew up into what it became this year, which is why I take a look at, you keep seeing these stories or these tweets like, oh, maybe Josh Jacobs becomes a salary cap casualty. I can't imagine in what world that would happen, because you need somebody like that can get yards after contact. If this is going to be the offensive line, you can't put a guy who's not adept at being a little bit more powerful or breaking tackles the way Josh Jacobs is and expect to have any semblance of a run game if this is the type of offensive line that you run out there.
What I find interesting, though, is as I'm looking at this list, Sean Rhyan, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
How do you see Sean Rhyan going forward?
He's probably an average player. I talked with Blue about that when I filled in on the Homer Hour earlier this week, and he likes Sean Rhyan, and we were on the same page. I would bring back Sean Rhyan because I don't think it's going to be that expensive. And let's say you bring back Sean Rhyan and go, okay, we think he's going to be our starting center. But then, you end up drafting a guy or bringing somebody else in, there's competition, and Sean Rhyan gets beat out. Well, now you have your interior backup along all 3 positions. And for $3, $4, $5 million, whatever he's going to ultimately end up costing on a per year basis, it seems like that's worth it. Because we just listened to the names that Jason just listed off of, well, if he's not here, okay, do you slide this guy in at guard and center? It's not very good. So not only do the Packers need starters on the offensive line, they need depth. And I think Sean Rhyan could be a depth piece if he's ultimately not your starting center. And I don't think that's a bad thing to bring him back, but it seems like the Packers are more than willing to move on, again, opening up even more holes along this offensive line.
Oh, it's interesting. On Get Up on the televisions above us, they are talking about the NFC North win totals, and we were discussing that this morning as well. Green Bay and the Lions lead the pack right now at 10.5. This is according to DraftKings. We typically use Potawatomi here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, but we can check their numbers as well. How do you feel about 10.5 wins for your Green Bay Packers right now?
I mean, I feel like those numbers ultimately get overinflated right now, because if you're betting on your team when the offseason hasn't even gotten close to getting started, chances are you're the optimistic fan, and these sports books are now protecting themselves, and that number is going to be a little bit higher. I mean, if the Packers, if we want to be sitting here feeling good about the Packers in early January, better be over. It's going to have to be over if you want to win that division, and that's something that the Packers have to do in 2026. Right now, before the offseason, I don't feel great about over 10.5. I mean, it seems pretty accurate, 9, 10, 11 wins. I think they're going to be somewhere in that grouping, but without seeing what they do this offseason, I think it's really hard to sit here and go, yep, no doubts whatsoever. They're going to be able to figure this thing out. Because I probably would have said that last year, over 10.5. But even before the offseason. And the offseason didn't work out the way they wanted, and they ended up winning 9 games. So I don't say I'd be confident in the over. If I had to say one or the other, I probably would say over. But I don't feel great about it.
For what it's worth, the bet that we made here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, what was that, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
A week and a half ago? I don't even remember at this point.
Was it just last Friday? Did we just come up with? I think we came up with it a week ago.
Might have been 1 week ago, actually.
I think it was 1 week ago.
Great callback then. If it was 1 week ago, we put together this parlay here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We said Packers to win the division. We said Brewers to win the division, and we said the Bucks to make the play-in tournament. And at the time, the Bucks to make the play-in tournament was plus 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe gave us an update early in the week. I believe it was on Monday.
Yep.
Letting us know that number had changed dramatically. It is now plus 400. Well, I got news for you, gang. I just went and checked it on the Potawatomi Sportsbook app. Now it's plus 300. So you think there were a bunch of people who went to Potawatomi and started betting on the Bucks to make the play-in tournament, hoping to get our plus 1,000 odds, but then we're okay getting the plus 400 odds. And now they've been like, whoa. Because to your point, they still haven't played since the All-Star break. They play tonight.
They do. They got a little bit of help. So the Bulls lost yesterday, so now they're officially ahead of the Bulls in 11th place in the East. The Hornets lost last night to the Rockets, so now the Bucks are just a game and a half behind of the Charlotte Hornets for that 10th spot in the play-in tournament. So they got a little bit of help, but I can't imagine that those two losses and a half game in the standings for the Bucks would have also then moved the line another 100 points like that.
I was trying to see if I could find the bet slip. And I am sure it's in our text chain somewhere.
Wait, you just want to make sure that you got the odds that, you made it. I'm pretty sure you made it last week.
It's like when you go to the airport, Gabe, and you're told to go to D45 as far as your gate. So you walk to D45 and you go, yep, still there. And then you go and get your coffee or you go and get your snacks. You just want to make sure. I just wanted to make sure that we got the plus 1,000 odds on the Bucks to make the play-in tournament.
Yeah, you did send it, but where...
maybe
it's
there.
Maybe
I just got it. We text back and forth in our group chat so much that you have to scroll.
Well, I just went to the photos.
I did that as well, and it didn't show up, and that's why I said you got to go to the thing and you got to do the scroll, because I did the same thing as you. I thought I was going to beat the system. I'm just going to go to the list where it says photos. Didn't work. We'll find it. I'm not worried. It's there. My question was, has the Green Bay Packers division winner odds changed at all since we placed that bet 1 week ago?
I can't imagine those would have changed that much because, again, those were kind of more in the realistic. Again, they weren't these huge odds where it would just over-leverage the casino.
Exactly the same, plus 175. Plus 175. And then the Brewers, we got the Brewers for the division lead at plus 265, and now it is 275. So a slight change on the Brewers to win the division. In the last week or so.
Going the other way. That's interesting.
800-990-3776. What's your level of concern for the Green Bay Packers offensive line? We'll put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Infinity Exteriors poll. You can weigh in on that. Still a lot of stuff to get to this morning. Stick around.
Tired of always waking up exhausted? Is that dad bod starting to weigh on you? Finding it harder to get excited about, basically anything? If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, it might not be that you're just getting older. I know it's something I've told myself. I guarantee I'm not the only one who lied to myself like that. Because mentality can help. There's a good chance your hormones and metabolism are out of balance. So this new year, let's get back to that old you. I know you remember that guy, sharp at work, full of energy, fun, the one that people enjoyed being around. That's where mentality comes in. I've used mentality for years, so I can vouch when I say it's not a macho T bro low T clinic. No, it's not what that is. They're human-centered, missions to figure out what's really going on in your body and your brain. Mentality starts by listening. Try to figure out what's going on with you. They run real labs, explain your results in plain English, and then here's the best part. This isn't one size fits all. No, they build you a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and FDA-approved peptide treatments to help get your brain and body back on track. So stop telling yourself and everyone around you that you're fine, because it can be better. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your first treatment plan. It's a savings of $250 right out of the gate. Reclaim the old you, the younger you, with mentality.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. Stay up to date on the green and gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks? Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
2026 Brewers tickets are on sale now. This year, it all kicks off at our house with opening day at home, followed up with a schedule that's absolutely loaded. Throw in the same flair for the dramatic thrills on any given night. Plus Brewers giveaways you won't forget. And you've got a season you're going to have to see to believe. Don't miss a second of Brewers action this year. The crew is back for more. All Brewers tickets for the 2026 season are on sale now at brewers.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790 or biglou.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and 0% financing for 36 months plus $500 off your project. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Hey, everyone who I let try borscht likes it. They don't love it, but it's a liver.
What an endorsement.
This is your
but hold on.
Hey, yeah, guys, good luck. I don't even have to talk anymore.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and just want to give a tiny shout out to the state of Florida. I know, doesn't happen very often, but apparently they are dabbling in common sense, it would appear, Gabe, as they announced, I think it was yesterday, is when I saw the tweet, that they are going to make a rule allowing high school coaches to use $15,000 out of their own pocket, out of their own fund, to benefit student athletes. And they're calling it the Teddy Bridgewater Act. You might remember that Teddy Bridgewater was suspended from his alma mater in 2025 after he said he had to use his own money to pay for food and transportation for his football team. He was the coach. He was paying for some of his his
team.
Team, yes. Players is the word I was looking for, but my brain just short-circuited. He was paying for some of his players.
If he was playing, I would have an issue with him playing high school football.
Yes.
I think
he
I
should
would draw
be
the line,
suspended.
I would draw the line there. Yes.
Certainly, Teddy
Yes.
Bridgewater. You can't be QBing your high school team. But since he was coaching and using his own money to pay for meals and transportation, that was apparently against the law. That was apparently against the rules, and he was suspended. Gabe, thank goodness somebody said, you know what? We probably should allow these coaches to do that if they desire to.
It's crazy because I think about when I was in high school, maybe this is a rule and we just ignored it in Wisconsin, because when I was varsity high school football, after the game on Friday night, especially after home games, we would end up in the weight room and we'd watch the game back, and our head coach would buy us pizza. Like, there'd be pizza there. And that way, we'd eat it, watch it, kind of go over some different stuff. And so he's providing the pizza. Was that against the rules? Was that not allowed? You can't buy your team some pizzas after the game? Like, that's just, especially if he's paying for the transportation. Like, who cares? Like, it reminds me of another story when Bo Ryan was the head coach at Wisconsin. And whether the story is true or not, I'm not sure, but he loved to tell it. He had a recruit on campus, and it was, over the summer months, it was a hot day, touring the campus. They get back to Bo's office, and, obviously it's a hot day. They're walking around, kids thirsty. And Bo goes into the little mini refrigerator he had in his office. He grabs a bottle of water and goes, wait. He could not give the kid a bottle of water because at that point, obviously now things have changed, but at that point in college athletics, that would have been an impermissible benefit to give him a bottle of water. So he had to give him water out of the tap. I was going to say, could he give him a cup of water from the sink? Because that doesn't have a monetary value while the bottle of water would have had monetary value attached to it. It just blows my mind, to be honest with you, that we have to have a law put in place, an act put in place, in order to protect people from being punished for things like this. They're still kids at the end of the day, right? And probably from varying socioeconomic backgrounds. If you as a human being recognize when someone needs something, whether it's a standard meal after a hard practice or whether it's like a kid who actually needs food. I saw a story recently about a lunch lady who was fired, and there were multiple examples of it, but it was sort of an aggregate on social media because she was giving a kid who couldn't pay for lunch, the whatever was left, a cheese sandwich or whatever was being handed out for everybody else who was getting hot lunch. And they were like, no, you can't do that. She was like, he was hungry. What are you talking about? What are we doing? And it does feel like, I understand there would be people that might take advantage of a situation. It doesn't seem like that was the case in Teddy Bridgewater's case. But I sort of am glad that he got suspended because it raised everybody's eyebrows. It raised awareness for this going on. And now this law has been passed so that coaches can do what they need to do in order to support their teams. Yeah, look, some schools are going to have more of an advantage because of who they have, right? And that's just the way these things go. I went to Horicon High School. The facilities we had were great, and now they've gotten even better. They've got a turf field, all those sorts of things. We're a small community. We weren't going to be able to compete with what Arrowhead could offer their athletes. There's more money in that community, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If there's people in that community who want to give Arrowhead the great locker rooms that they have and the facilities, that's fantastic. I just don't understand why this had to be an issue in the first place. If he wanted to, even just out of, hey, we're traveling to the games. I don't want to take a school bus. I want to upgrade us to a coach bus. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that in the first place. Because, okay, he's got the money, he's got the means. If that's what he wants to spend his money on, go for it, man. That's just an advantage that some places have and other places don't. And it's just part of how high school athletics work. Let me just add one more nugget here before we wrap this up. The Teddy Bridgewater Act being passed in Florida, which says that coaches from kindergarten through 12 can now spend up to $15,000 per year of their own funds to benefit the student athletes. That, of course, is food. That, of course, is transportation or recovery services. The detail I wanted to add is this. Teddy Bridgewater was a volunteer coach. He was volunteering his time. He was offering his expertise. He was trying to benefit that community free of charge. Yeah. And they suspended him.
He was losing money.
Significant amount.
Yeah.
It's wild. Again, I guess all's well that ends well. They have now allowed that, and Teddy Bridgewater's name is going to be on that act going forward. That might be Teddy Bridgewater's legacy, by the way. Certainly tied to it.
Teddy Two Gloves. That lives forever.
Oh, how about when he was dancing on the track with the dance team? You guys remember that?
Nope.
Oh, okay, I'm going to pull up a video during the break and enlighten
It's tough to be part of the legacy if it's not that memorable.
It will be once you see it. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy rolls on. Stick around. Seriously?
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
With a crash on 94 eastbound, just about at Moreland Road. The left shoulder is blocked. We've also got an accident on southbound 94 at Elm Road on the left shoulder as well. So just be careful past those scenes. We do have some delays. Northbound 4394 from Beecher up to the high-rise bridge. Westbound 94 heavy from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's backing up east to 76th Street to Hawley Road. And then more delays from 27th Street all the way to about 51st on 894 westbound. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. John Neal and his team know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, morning rain switching over to snow. It'll be windy with less than an inch in Milwaukee, up to 2 inches to the far west, a high of 40. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Craig Carmison on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Saturn Lounge, your partner for marketing strategy, creative content, and winning campaigns. From websites to video and everything marketing, visit SaturnLounge.com to tell the world your story.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
What in the world is going on south of the border? You sounded like Scooby-Doo there for a second.
That was Gabe. It was a maniacal laugh.
I know. It was a snicker. Little shart and farter happening here this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. No Chewy today. Gabe, Jen, and Will behind the glass holding it down. So I guess I should have seen this coming, but I didn't see it coming. It sort of, for me, came from out of nowhere because I thought the plan for the Chicago Bears was this property in Arlington Heights, right? They purchased 300-plus acres of land that they were going to build the new stadium on. And I know how politics work and leverage works and options work, and I understand that this was sort of a leverage play, and it seemed like that was the direction they were going. Well, plot twist, Indiana has entered the chat. Apparently, Indiana is sort of rolling out the red carpet for the Chicago Bears, saying, hey, if Illinois doesn't want to play ball, if Illinois doesn't want to give you guys the things that you want, we would be happy to welcome you to our beautiful shores. And that is why you're snickering.
Shores?
Beautiful? Beautiful.
Indiana?
That is why you're snickering. Because Hammond, Indiana is the proposed location for the Chicago Bears move. And I thought it was April Fool's. I checked the calendar to be like, this can't be right. Am I being punked here? Gabe, what did you make of the news yesterday about the Chicago Bears potentially moving to Hammond, Indiana?
Indiana's serious. They've kind of fast-tracked this where it seemingly Illinois has been dragging their feet, and the Bears were just looking for some infrastructure help around from my understanding, again, I haven't done the deep dive into it, but around their Arlington Heights location. So Indiana's like, hey, we'll take you. Just bring them back just right over the border, and they're looking at Hammond, Indiana, I guess. I've never visited, but the pictures look lovely. I'm sure everybody's going to be very happy in Hammond, Indiana.
You've never been? It's where the Mascot Hall of Fame is.
Why do you know this much about Hammond?
I've been doing some research about, what to expect. It's a blue collar. Technically, it is in the Chicago metropolitan area. So do you think they would keep the name Chicago Bears?
Oh, of course. I mean, if the San Francisco 49ers can be the San Francisco 49ers despite playing in Santa Clara, like the Jets and the Giants play in a different state than what they claim to be, too. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to stop making jokes. Like, Hammond's basically Gary, right? The Gary Bears? Good old Gare Bears?
And South Bend is basically Hammond. So why don't we just shove them down to Notre Dame land? You know what I mean? Like, what's crazy to me is I always thought it was so interesting that the practice facility and their offices were all in Lake Forest, Illinois, which is a pretty significant hike down to Soldier Field. But if you think about it, they're only playing at Soldier Field 8 times out of the year, unless they make the playoffs, which is this year, then you get a couple extra games. So it really wasn't that big of an issue. Logistically, I have always found going to Soldier Field, and you'll remember that I covered the Bears for 2.5 years for CSN Chicago, a horrible logistical nightmare. There's one way in and one way out. And the city of Chicago is pretty dense as it is. No, I don't mean it the way you're taking it. Population density, not intelligence dense. Sure. All right?
Sure.
And so it was hard always to navigate in the ins and outs of Soldier Field. I sort of thought that going to Arlington Heights would eliminate some of that issue. There's always going to be traffic on game day wherever your stadium is situated. We see that in Green Bay as well. But I sort of thought, and it's a suburb at least of Chicago.
Well, technically Hammond is too.
No, it's not.
Technically,
you cannot
Hammond
be
is
a suburb of Chicago if your zip code is in Indiana.
Well, I'm just saying. That's just I don't write the rules. I don't make the rules about media markets, Jen. I just enforce them. That's what I do. Moving to Indiana
seriously as a strong Packer backer, Gabe Neitzel, I assume that you are enjoying the hell out of this.
It is hilarious that the state of Illinois hasn't stepped up. And look, I understand there's a lot of economical things that go on here, but the lesson here is somebody's always willing to pay if you're not. And if you're willing to lose the team that has made you famous and I guess they're going to have an empty stadium with Soldier Field anyway. And if you're going to let them just leave the state entirely, good on Indiana for stepping up. Hey, I guess Illinois, you didn't want the Bears. I'm just disappointed that we didn't step up. Like the Kenosha Bears, I'm just disappointed that we didn't try to put something together, try to put together a package to rival. I mean, can you imagine the Bears in Wisconsin?
The level of outrage
they would just
Well, first of all, Aaron Rodgers, I own you. I've always owned you. There feels like a little bit of like.
I mean, if they would have gone to Kenosha, would have I tried to, maybe get the street name that the stadium would be on, Aaron Rodgers Way? Yes, of course, we would have tried something like that. We would have had to, right? It just would have had to. But I'm just a little disappointed that Wisconsin, I know we've got our own issues. We've got other things to figure out here in this state. But, just tried to put together a little package, rivaling Indiana to see if we could, entice the Bears up to Wisconsin.
The great irony, guys, is that the Bears had more success last year, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, et al., than they've had in a decade, Will? Like, how long are we talking that the Bears have been like dying for relevancy, dying to be a franchise that people are taking seriously from a football standpoint? And now you got the going around from a stadium government funding standpoint.
I mean, it's been probably about 30 years. It's the first time in my life that they've been successful and it feels sustainable. The only defense I can come up with it is Indiana is now a championship football state. You want to win a championship, you go to Indiana.
What are the Colts saying about that?
The Indiana Hoosiers. Champions.
No, I'm familiar with the storyline. I'm saying to you, you would think that it would rub off on the Colts before it would rub off on the Bears, right? Just a proximity.
The Colts have been a more stable organization than the Bears, too. So, again, how many people knew that Hammond, Indiana was a place before yesterday? When the legislation. I had no idea. I had no idea that Hammond, Indiana existed until yesterday.
It's probably a good thing for you.
If that's the city the Bears are moving to?
I just, the Arlington Heights makes so much sense. There's a train station right there. There's so much open land because there used to be, racetracks. If you have any vantage point in Arlington Heights and you look out over the racetrack, there's so much room for, development there. And It just seems like at first the Bears were kind of like poking at the state of Illinois, like, hey, we're going to go to Indiana if you don't make a move. And now it feels real. It feels like it's at the
because
goal
Indiana
line.
stepped up and goes, all right, if you guys want, like, we're ready.
Yeah.
They stepped up to the plate. And again, good for Indiana. But also, again, as I started to learn more and more about Hammond yesterday, isn't the city like basically, again, I can relate to this being a kid who grew up on the marsh. Don't they just basically like have swampland and marsh there? Isn't it kind of a hard city to kind of navigate through? So to Jen's point about the whole traffic thing,
Well, that's why it's right by the water. We're going to take boats from Lake Forest to Hammond. That's how the team's going to get there.
Jump on a ferry from Lake Michigan?
Yeah,
take it down to the stadium?
And look, this all to me goes back to the age-old debate about private funding versus public funding. This whole idea that the McCaskies have billions with a B and an S dollars to their name, and that they are still asking for a municipality, whether it's Chicago, whether it's Arlington Heights, or whether it's Hammond, Indiana, to foot the bill for them to build a new stadium.
It seemed like, though, Jen, at Arlington Heights, that they were willing to foot the majority of the bill. Now, they would have needed some help with the infrastructure, getting more roads and things like that. And in Illinois, just kind of dragged their feet. And now you've got a sweetheart deal in Indiana that's going to do what every owner loves. Public costs and privatize end up privatizing the profits. And that's what every owner wants to do.
But I think
that's the dream.
But I think again, if you look at this, and this is just my speculation because I don't have insiders, I'm not talking to people, I'm just like watching it from the outside. I'm guessing it's just a leverage play. I'm guessing the more interested Indiana seems, the more eager they are for the Chicago Bears to relocate to their fine city, the more pressure the McCaskies can put on the governor of Illinois to say, do you really want to lose the Bears to Indiana? Really? Because from a closeness standpoint, from a proximity standpoint, it's really not that far. You mentioned that Arlington Heights is actually further from Soldier Field than this location would be from Soldier Field. But there is something about crossing that state line.
Yes.
There is something that in spirit feels wrong.
Well, again, and that's why it just, to your point, I don't think the Bears actually want to do this. But it feels like they feel like George. If you've ever saw the episode of Seinfeld where George says he's got a place in the Hamptons and he takes his dead fiance's parents out there, even though they know that he's lying. And he's just, he's telling them all about this amazing house and these horses that he owns. And he just drives to a vacant lot out in the Hamptons and eventually has to come clean on the line. That's what it feels like. It feels like the Bears are George Costanza and eventually they're going to end up in Indiana and go, wait, how did we end up here? How did we get here? Because Illinois say, go ahead. It's a game of chicken, and I'm guessing the Bears are going to end up doing a deal they don't ultimately want to do, which makes it even funnier for me.
They're going to have to change the song. Like the last line of the Bear Down song is the pride and joy of Illinois. They're going to have to change it. And it rhymes.
Wait,
They're going
is
to have
it
to
really?
change the... Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's pride and joy of Illinois, Bear Down, Chicago Bears. They're going to have to change the whole thing because Illinois rhymes with everything else in the song. So
is
they're
it
going to
joy? Does it rhyme with joy? Is that what it is? The pride and joy of Illinois?
Yes. So, I mean, we might have to think of a new song.
I'm working on rhymes right now for Indiana.
There you
Best of luck to you.
Banana, Fana, faux Fana. Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute.
Got sidetracked pretty quick there.
I mean, if you thought like putting an NFL stadium in like suburbia Green Bay was weird, imagine it in Hammond, where there's not even suburbs. Like it's just nothing. It's a blue collar town with a bunch of factories, and I think there's a Walmart. I've been hearing. I saw
somebody say there's a casino and a golf course right around there or something like that.
It's good enough, I guess.
Words that rhyme with Indiana. Anna, canna, channa, grana. These are not real words, Merriam-Webster. What the hell? Banana, flana. Bring your flana. Right? We can make that work.
Hammond population is like 78,000. All right. There you go.
Maybe it's a hidden gem. You never know.
Josh in Heartland, I think he's our songwriter, actually, says the George Costanza of Indiana.
Nailed it.
That's a good one.
Nailed it.
On that note, we'll take a break. 800-990-3776 if you have thoughts, if you want to chuckle alongside Gabe Neitzel at the thought of the Bears going to Indiana, being forced to move to Indiana because they cannot make nice with the government, with the governor of Illinois. Let us know, 800-990-3776. We've got Craig Harmison. He's coming up shortly here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
At Ewald Automotive Group, they believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of lower payments. That's why they're giving you $1,500 over book value for your trade-in. Get into a new vehicle with payments starting at under $250 a month. It's over 1,400 vehicles backed by their low price guarantee at Ewald. $1,500 more for your trade-in. Payments starting at under $250. Life, liberty, and the pursuits of lower payments. Based on Kelly Rubik, fair trade value applies to 2013 or newer model years. You know you can trust Ewald. I've done it for over a decade at this point. It all starts at ewaldauto.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a crash northbound 41 at Good Hope Road. Left shoulder is blocked. We got delays coming in from just before Appleton Avenue up to that point, so careful with that. Westbound 94, going to be seeing delays from 35th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound has eased up quite nicely. It's super quiet there. No problems coming in from Waukesha County. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Morning rain, switching over to snow. It'll be windy with less than an inch in Milwaukee, up to 2 inches to the far west, a high of 40. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Half of American parents cannot afford diapers. Hi, this is WTMJ's Kristen Bry. This spring, WTMJ and the Milwaukee Diaper Mission are teaming up to change that. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. Register to bowl with us on March 7th at Village Bowl in Menominee Falls. Registration is now open. Go to WTMJCares.com to sign up. Act quickly, teams will fill up fast. It's WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies to help the Milwaukee Diaper Mission.
At Saturn Lounge, we know if your marketing actually worked, you would know. Your website would perform, not just exist. Your storytelling would inspire, not fall flat. Your integrated campaigns would create impact, not excuses. There'd be no refreshing dashboards, no waiting on a report to explain what happened. It's time to generate quality leads and turn them into customers. Let's make it happen with Saturn Lounge, your marketing partner for clear, measurable results. Visit us today at SaturnLounge.com. When marketing works, it shows.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
So overrated. Come on, his head is a pumpkin.
Yeah, he's so right. Chewy's never been more right about anything.
Chewy was right. Yeah. Holy, Chewy was right.
Yeah. Imagine the helmet on that dome. It'd be the first 8.5 size helmet. What the?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Tune into a new season of Behind the Bucks podcast on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. It is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Bucks versus the World, narrated by comedian Charlie Berens, reveals the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open. That's when the Bucks became the first NBA team to take on the best national team in the world, the Soviet Union. Now, before the Dream Team, this long-forgotten tournament in Milwaukee globalized the game of basketball and opened the doors to international stars coming to the NBA. Find Behind the Bucks on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcast. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher. Have y'all been following this story about the monkey in Japan? That sounds like a joke. So a monkey walks into a bar. No.
Very loosely. I'm aware of the story. I'm not like following every move of the monkey who was abandoned by its birth mother.
It's like a Disney movie.
At a zoo in Japan.
In fact, it's Dumbo is what it is. Well, Dumbo wasn't abandoned by his mom, but he did have the separation that occurred. You go watch the movie. Although you don't have to watch the live-action movie because
live action was bad?
Who asked for that? Who was asking for a live-action Dumbo?
They were trying to tap into the nostalgia, and they were trying to go through the old catalog and make everything a live-action version.
I recognize that Bambi's mom was shot.
Sure.
But is there a sadder scene in a Disney movie than when Dumbo is being cradled by his mother's trunk?
Nope.
She's in the thing.
Yeah.
He's out of the thing. I mean, that will crush you. Anyway, this will crush you too. The monkey has been abandoned by his mom. Apparently it was a difficult birth. Here. I mean, who amongst us, right? Haven't wanted to, take it out on the youngster. Anyway, and he has not been taken in by the rest of the troop. The rest of the troop is sort of ostracizing him. So the zookeepers in Japan gave him this stuffed orangutan.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been kind of toting around this stuffed orangutan and cuddling with it. And of course, there are cameras in the, I didn't want to say it, but they're the macaques. That's the...
Sure.
That's the species of monkey. It's a macaque. And so anyway, it has taken the world by storm. The internet is going crazy. People are reacting. People feel sorry for the monkey. They're asking why haven't the zookeepers separated him? Because now there's been some violence, Gabe. There's been some violence where this other mom in the troop was sort of smacking him around a little bit. And it's a tough look for the baby monkey.
Yeah, but that's nature, man. This is what happens in nature when you're trying to assimilate here. The zookeepers aren't going to want to, step in unless it's absolutely necessary because, again, you have to let nature take its course. That's the point of the zoo, is to try to recreate that the best that they can. And you get to observe it. That's what the zoo is you get to try to learn about these animals that are there. Not go, oh, hey, let's take this monkey and put him... And again, separating him from the entire troop is probably just as traumatizing. What, you're going to put him in his own cage? That's probably not good for the animal either. So, yeah, I have found it humorous that some people online and on social media want to treat animals like they do baby humans.
Listen, I'm with you in the zoo is trying to simulate the natural habitat, the natural environment, until you remember that the zoo also brings them 3 square meals a day.
Sure.
Right? We're not asking the animals to go out and hunt or gather or, so it is a little Club Med for the animals.
Sure. But again, so you're going to separate? So you're going to separate this little baby monkey?
I want to adopt the guy, if I'm being honest.
I'm going to tell you this right now. It's not a great idea. Do not do
we
that.
just got a cat, so it feels like really bad timing.
Yeah,
but
what are you trying to become the Wildies?
You know what it is, though? It is very much. It's first of all, there's a Truman Show element of it, right? The voyeurism that they have these cameras inside the macaques' living environment, and that everybody is able to watch all of the ongoings and all of the drama. There's a little soap opera element to it, but didn't they poke fun at this in Anchorman? When he had to go cover one of the guys in Anchorman had to go cover the thing at the zoo.
Yeah, the baby panda being born.
This is what it feels a little like. Like, there's this element of we want to watch what is happening. It's why the Nature Channel or Nova or whatever it is now exists. National Geographic. I believe it's a Disney property.
You should probably get that down there as a teammate of in Disney, or cast member. Excuse me. That's the language that Disney likes to use. Look, I guess I don't have as much interest in, like, do I feel bad for the monkey that his mother abandoned it? Yes. But I'm assuming, again, I'm taking a huge leap of faith here. It's not the first monkey that the mother abandoned, right? Or mothers have probably been doing this with monkeys for how long? And because it happens in nature, we have no idea. They have to figure out a way to assimilate. We can't just rush in and be a helicopter parent for a monkey.
So you bring up a very good point, and we'll wrap this up quickly before we get to Craig Karmazin. There's people who talk about all of the negativity in the world, all the evil in the world, and how it feels so overwhelming at times and stifling and suffocating. And then the counter argument that is sometimes made is, no, the world has always been like this. You're just aware of it now. To me, it feels like that's what you're sort of saying, right? Like the stuff we're seeing happening to, and he has a name and I can't think of it now. It's like Peppa or something like that. The things that are happening there within this monkey troop happen everywhere in nature, happen all the time. Because you're seeing it, you're having strong feelings about it, and you're wanting to change it, and that ain't good.
Because, yes, ultimately that's going to end poorly for everyone involved. Yeah, you can feel bad, you can feel sorry. But ultimately, again, you got to let nature run its course. Be a little patient. I'm willing to bet he's going to become a part of the troop. And then just think about how exciting that's going to be.
Yeah, what are those overcoming adversity?
Sure.
The story arc type of thing. Why are you laughing at us, Will? Will is actively
I'm just hung
laughing.
up on the live-action Dumbo thing because it's long been an idea that I've had to do a live-action Polar Express with no animation. I think it's a great movie, great storyline, but some of the effects in the animation freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, it should.
So
if that was not your take on Polar Express, I'd have some concerns.
Okay,
I'd have
you.
some concerns.
The monkey's name, by the way, is Punch.
Thank you. And they've been calling him Punchy. You know, because if you add an EY to the end of someone's name, it makes it even more endearing.
Sure.
Right?
Well, you gotta let Punchy stand on his own 2 feet, everybody. All right? That's just, you gotta let nature take its course. And look, maybe it does turn out bad for Punchy. But again, that's part of nature. Got it. That's what we got to let happen.
Craig Karmazin's going to join the show in a second. I wonder if he has opinions about Punch the macaque in Japan. We'll ask him after this.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Northbound on 41, we do have a crash right about at Good Hope Road. It is off on the left shoulder, so watch out for that. Delays coming in from before Appleton Avenue. And then the only other spot where I'm seeing delays is going to be on westbound 94, just west of 27th Street, pretty much all the way past Mitchell Boulevard. After that, you are good to go. Eastbound has cleared up nicely, and the bypass is looking good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, morning rain, switching over to snow. It'll be windy with less than an inch in Milwaukee, up to 2 inches to the far west, a high of 40. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Shopping local and building your own Bloody Mary in the middle of winter? Yes, please. Hey, everyone, it's Jen Latta. Today we're talking about Gather and Grow at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. It's a winter market paired with a delicious, locally inspired brunch, and it just might be the coziest event of the season. Joining me now is Sarah Neubauer. Sarah, this feels like the ultimate winter plan.
It really is. Gather and Grow is all about community. We're hosting a free-to-attend winter market where guests can browse and shop local vendors and artisans, and at the same time, we're offering a curated brunch experience that celebrates Wisconsin farmers and producers.
Browsing a local market and then headed to brunch, you are definitely speaking my language. What can people expect on the menu?
Think warm, comforting, and very Wisconsin. We have a breakfast charcuterie board with candied Newski bacon and smoked trout dip from Rushing Waters, plus an apple sage pork sausage, a mushroom and leek frittata with aged white cheddar, and even a braised Wisconsin Wagyu eggs Benedict. We're also featuring porter braised lamb made with Central Waters mud puppy porter Nearly every ingredient is locally sourced, so it's truly a taste of Wisconsin.
And we cannot forget dessert and drinks.
Of course not. We have desserts featuring Marigold Dairy and Wisconsin cranberries, plus a Bloody Mary bar, and make your own mimosas with Wollersheim sparkling wine. The brunch is $80 per person, and that includes everything, food and beverages.
Girl, I love a Bloody Mary. A free-to-attend winter market and an all-inclusive brunch. And if that wasn't enough to fill your winter plans, Potawatomi Casino Hotel is also leaning into another Wisconsin favorite. Friday fish fries are now being offered, right, Sarah?
Yes, Fridays, February 20th through April 3rd. You can find that at Canal Street Cafe with crab cake eggs Benedict, Dreamland Steakhouse with a Midwest fish fry, Marketplace with a fish sandwich, Rock and Brews Restaurant with beer battered fish and chips, and Potawatomi Sportsbook with another Wisconsin fish fry.
So many great things going on. Where can everyone go to learn more?
Potawatomi.com.
That's POTAWATOMI.com.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
At Associated Bank, we know running a business is tough enough, so our business is making your business banking easy. That's why we make sure it speaks your language. Business and consumer-linked accounts? How about all your banking all in one place with one login account? $50 overdraft grace zone? Think of it as a I never said I was a CFO grace zone. And maintenance fee-free account? Well, free is always good. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He sounds like the Beatles.
What?
Anyone?
This is a new one on me.
Listen to his interview, the way he talks. He sounds like Paul McCartney. Ringo farted and it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
On 94.5 ESPN. It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Karmazin.
Has any market been as consistent where they only have one team than Wisconsin? We know Chicago hasn't been.
No.
Fridays with Mo.
Yeah, but until you win a championship, you can't really say that. And they've had one champion.
Chewy, we're going to just create an AI. Or the AI Chewy can just bring up championship. We don't even need Chewy.
They've had one championship.
What, it's going to be put like a hologram over there?
Yeah. Craig Karmazin on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is brought to you by Saturn Lounge, your partner for marketing strategy, creative content, and winning campaigns. From websites to video and everything marketing, visit SaturnLounge.com to tell the world your story.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Craig Karmazin joining us in studio today here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. All right, Craig, dealer's choice. Where do you want to start? We got the Bears potentially going to Indiana. We got the Bucks trying to make that play-in tournament. We've got the Packers with a 10.5 games as far as the over-under for wins go. Is something else that's interesting to you?
I would start with the Bucks out of that. I would go to the Bears because I do fear that may make the Packers Wisconsin's team all of a sudden. Right?
Packers are Wisconsin's team.
Well, no, the Bears currently, yes, they're Wisconsin's team, but Milwaukee's team, right? Like, you know, the Bears currently, with their offices in Lake Forest, are closer to Milwaukee than Green Bay. So I think, you know, Milwaukee's pretty evenly divided, Packers and Bears.
No, I don't think that at all.
Well, let's see. Wait, Will's producing. Will, who do you root for?
I'm a Bears fan.
Okay, Gabe?
I'm a Packers fan.
I won't even ask you, Jen. I'll just say that, you know, we have a partnership with the Bears. I root for the Bears, so it seems like we're pretty evenly divided.
But you also root for
here.
the Rams and the Browns.
Yes, I do.
And I know I'm missing someone here.
Yeah, the Bills.
Bills. Yep. Bills. That's a new partnership.
Yes. So, no. In all seriousness, I don't think it really matters, and I think it would be a further drive for people here and a bunch of people there, and I don't think it'll really happen, even though it seems like it's serious. But if it does, I don't think it matters.
So you're in business, you do dealings and all of that stuff. I guess I read it as a leverage move.
You're in business.
You do dealings and stuff and
Yes.
whatnot. I really don't know exactly what you're doing on a daily basis, but I assume that business is involved, all right? And the point is, you know a leverage move when you see one, right?
I'm just a simple caveman. I don't know. If
You
these
are the
business
least
moves-
caveman of the four people currently
That is
having
true.
this conversation.
You are the most caveman. If Chewy's not here, that makes you the biggest caveman here.
Falls on Jen.
question.
No, I think you're right. That's what it feels like. But I think there's some level of the Bears being like, all right, we're trying all these things legitimately, and we want to get these done. And it's difficult when politics are involved. So as I said, I think this is serious. I don't think it gets done, but I think if it did, it would not change Bear fandom. And for the 8,000 season ticket holders that might not renew, there would be 25,000 season ticket holders who would ready to be buying those tickets tomorrow. So I don't think when you play 8 to 9 home games a year in the regular season, I think it's an absolute non-factor.
So last week, we ended up putting together a 3-team parlay on this show where...
If it involves the NBA, let's stop there and not talk about it.
Really?
Yeah, I can't talk about gambling when it comes to the NBA.
But, I mean, you know good value when you see it.
No, I can't talk about that.
You can't,
I can't talk
can
about
you talk
value.
about if you think we moved a line?
No, I can't talk about that either.
You can't talk about that
No,
either?
I can't talk about why a line moves. I can't talk about gambling. I'm a very, very small, limited partner in the team, and I signed something that I can't go there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not making the bet.
No, I know, but if I'm giving information, and it's not like I have significant inside information, but we have had an owners meeting in the last week where I may know information that the general market doesn't know.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fair. So let's go ahead and pivot then to tanking in the NBA, because this seems to be a huge thing that Adam Silver wants to tackle this offseason. They had a list of about 10 different things. And I know the Jazz, again, that was egregious.
Well, so I don't know. So there's two people who came out, Mark Cuban, who I tend to agree with on most things, and Matt Ishbia, who I tend to not agree with on most things. And I found myself, not agreeing with either of them, but being closer to Matt Ishbia's opinion that tanking is losing behavior, that as a league, we shouldn't be promoting. And if we're worried about, hey, this guy's trying to get his under on points, and there might be trying to influence a gambling market, that legitimately having teams going into games trying to lose, how is that not similar or way, 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 way worse? And so I think there is some truth there, and I didn't totally buy Mark Cuban's answer, which is, hey, our fans loved having Luka Doncic. Our fans loved having Daniel Gafford, who they got both times because of tanking, and there is a benefit. And fans don't really remember. They just want a good experience when they go to a game, and I disagree. I think it's sad when, you go to a game and this is a league built on superstars, and superstars who are available to play are not playing. I just don't think it's right, and I think you need to incentivize team behaviors with what's best for your fans, because ultimately this is an entertainment product.
But what if your team's just bad?
If your team's bad, then you're not tanking.
Well, yeah, but you're still going to ultimately be punished by some of these things that the NBA is trying to put forward, right? Like if you're bad, and a way to turn the reason why the draft exists is because if you're bad, in order to turn it around, okay, now you've got a higher pick.
Okay,
you've got a better option to pick one of these players in the draft. And if you're a team just looking at the NBA teams this year, the Jazz, yes, they're tanking. The Kings, they're just bad.
No, I mean, again, the Kings have shut down Domantas Sabonis and Zach LaVine.
Yep.
They both, Domantas Sabonis came back and played games. Zach LaVine, I'm not here to comment on players on other teams and all that, but you can't tell me that if Zach LaVine had been traded at the trade deadline, that he would 100%
be shut down.
been shut down.
The Pelicans are bad.
The Pelicans don't have a draft pick.
Yeah.
So they're clearly trying to win. Yes, I agree.
But I'm just saying, you could be a team that's legitimately bad.
In any of these scenarios that people are working on, you may have the fifth. So if that team who's really, really bad ends up having the fifth best odds to get the first round, the number one pick, well, that's pretty good.
Wait, but
and if they're that bad, the year before they probably did also. And if they're running their team that bad, why should we
Just to be clear,
reward them?
Gabe, you're talking about the things that the the NBA talked about yesterday that would incentivize teams not to tank, right? There was a list that was put out.
And so one of the premises is that after game 50, let's just say, for the last 32 games of the year, you actually get credit for winning games rather than losing games. And it still would only be the teams that don't make the playoffs, but you actually get credit for winning rather than losing.
Yeah.
So playing hard down the stretch would actually matter.
Which I like. But one of the other solutions is, you just flatten the odds. If you're in the lottery, everybody has the same odds.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea to me because, again, there are teams that are trying to win. Maybe you got hurt, and now you get rewarded for a team with a team that's just, again, legitimately bad.
Like last year, how the Dallas Mavericks end up getting, they go straight from the NBA Finals to getting the number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the ideas is to put something in that you can't get a top 4 pick if you've been in the conference finals within 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a bunch of different ideas like that being floated.
But additionally, this isn't. I guess the NBA is
how
the
do you
only one.
feel just ultimately, right? Like when you go to a game,
yes,
and I mean, as a Bucks fan, and Giannis isn't playing, right? It's sad. And Giannis, we know, tries to play every time he can play. But when you're going to a game and you're missing the best players from the other teams, sure, maybe your team's more likely to win. But I mean, this is a league built on those stars, but again,
that's
seeing them.
That's more than just a tanking issue, too, Craig. Right? Like that's something the NBA has tried to tackle forever in terms of player rest and when you can and can't, and teams have certainly been fine for that.
And I think they've done a good job with the MVP stuff and being eligible for awards. Like we saw Nikola Jokic and maybe even Tyrese Halliburton last year come back a little early to make sure they stayed eligible and missed less games than they would have wanted to.
But why do you think that the NFL doesn't look at it as a problem? Because the team that has the number 1 overall pick sat their best player, had to go to him and say, hey, Max Crosby, you ain't playing the rest of the year.
Okay.
He got upset.
How many games?
But there's only 17 in the
Right.
NFL.
How many games?
So go by percentage.
I mean,
then.
How many games?
He missed the last 3 games they shut him down for?
I think the
2 or
Giants
3?
game, right? So you're talking about 2 games.
Out of 17, to his point, percentages matter.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're doing this at the All-Star break, right when the NFL season's ending, right when a lot of people's attention is turning to the NBA, right? Like this is the highest profile time for the NBA, as much as the NBA Cup is trying to move up interest. This is when people get genuinely into the league. And to get into the league and find out that your player who, he played, Trae Young was able to play. And when the Mavericks were considering trading Anthony Davis, they were saying he would be relatively healthy soon. But now both of these guys who your team just traded for and you're a season ticket holder are both out for the year. Like it just.
Okay, here's what I think. And this is don't hate the player, hate the game. Because we all know that tanking is not the disease. Tanking is a symptom of the disease, which is the structure, the incentive, the strategic, all of the ways that teams get rewarded for being bad in the NBA. So what's the answer there? I know Gabe just mentioned they've given out this list of ways to try to incentivize teams to actually play, but how can they change it? And you also obviously don't like the idea of making it a percentage across the board, where if you're in the lottery, you have the same percentage to get the first round.
And this all came from when Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon were around that time, they were coming out, and it was the first time that people the last 2 or 3 games of the year started trying to lose, and they were like, ooh, maybe we shouldn't
for
just
seeding
do it.
for
Yeah,
matchups.
It used to be, there's times there was a coin flip for just first and second, and then all of a sudden they realize, okay, this is starting to become more of a thing, so let's not make it where teams are so incentivized to be that bad. Let's have more of a lottery, and it expanded over time to where at first it was even lottery odds, then they decided that it should be uneven odds.
So my question to you guys is this then. Should they eliminate the draft? Because that has been thrown out there as well. If the draft order is one of those things that is incentivizing teams to lose, should they figure out another way to build the roster?
I love the eliminating of your record impacting the draft. Now, you would have to prepare a long time for this because people have already traded so many draft picks. So let's say right now draft picks have been traded out until 2032.
Yes.
And so there's a wheel. I don't know if you guys have heard
I've
of
seen
this
the
theory.
draft with. I think it was a Celtics assistant or someone in their front office that came up with. This was 2013, 14.
Yeah, it was And so the premise is, for the next 30 years where your draft position is going to be. And let's say maybe they add 2 teams to the league. So let's say
every 6 years you get a top 5 pick.
Right.
So you're getting quality picks every so often.
And you'll know, hey, in 22 years from now we have the number 1 pick. 11 years from now we have the number 2 pick. Next year we have the number 3 pick. We have the number 17 pick. So every team gets their roster sprinkled in with a fair amount of picks over that period of time, and you then build all the incentives around trying to win every year and trying to have your fan base excited about your team. I love that idea. You need a long ramp-up period to get there.
I was a proponent of the draft wheel. I loved the idea when I first heard it back in, again, I think it was 2013 or 14. It was a long time ago when that idea came out, and it's the one that makes me the most go, yes, I could get into this as a fan. I feel like I can support it because, again, it de-incentivizes losing.
Think about, if you know you have the first pick, you're checking out who are those best 6th graders right now. I know we're 7 years away, but, little Timmy on the basketball court, he's got a left hand already, and, I'm thinking he could be our savior. I just, the NBA is a premium entertainment product.
Yeah.
It is a very incredible product compared to any night out, in my opinion, that you could have in Milwaukee, and it is priced accordingly. And so for me, I want anyone who is investing their hard-earned dollars to feel like they're getting the best product that both teams could put out. And when, as a league, we're not doing that because a team in their best interest, Jen, it's hard to hate the team for trying to do what's in their fan base's best interest long term.
Again, we had that conversation here on the program. Can you ask Giannis to suspend immediate gratification, which is playing, for future gratification, which would be the worse the team does, the better potentially their lottery pick is, but that's not in his nature.
Yeah.
Right? But we had that conversation.
And he's from that Matt Ishbia, he's not a loser. He doesn't want to lose. He wants to win. And right now, I'm thinking about the same thing. The Detroit Pistons beat the Knicks last night, and they're clearly, it seems, the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. Hey, the Bucks last year played the team that won the East, and I know we lost in 5, but we should have won that game 5 at Indiana without Dame. Mm-hmm. We would have come back and won game 6. Who knows what you put Giannis in a game 7? I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens in the next 29 games and to see if Giannis can drag this group of team of players who all of a sudden seem rejuvenated and all that into a 9 seed, into a 10 seed. Can they then go on the road or win at home as the 9 seed against the 10 and then go on the road to beat the 8 and be the 8 seed? And hey, I can guarantee you the Pistons will be rooting against the Bucks if the Bucks are in that play-in
They don't want
tournament.
to see Giannis.
Yeah.
Well, for reasons we cannot discuss with you in the room, we are also very excited and hopeful for that, right, Gabe?
Oh, absolutely. We're invested.
He's Craig Karmazin, hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every Friday. Great to have you in studio, Craig. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Ton of Bucks games coming up. Home games of plenty. I think it's
9 of 10.
Yeah.
And the only road game is at Chicago.
Yeah, but when do you think Giannis will be back? And again, not saying that the other guys out there aren't entertaining, but again, a lot of people are circling their calendar for when Giannis is back on the court.
First at the Pelicans tonight, right?
Yes, Pelicans tonight, and then it's 9 of 10 here in Milwaukee.
So overall 9 of 11 games at home. So Sunday, Raptors starts at opportunity to see the Bucks on Sunday. I don't know, and I think the thing about Giannis is you never know. I think if he came back this Sunday, it would be way ahead of schedule, and especially when you've had multiple injuries.
And I think he knows to take his time because he admitted that he came back too soon from the last one.
He wanted that Pistons game the last time so bad, and it hurt him, right? Mm-hmm. He legitimately got hurt when he came back, that time, and then he ends up getting hurt and playing hurt through the Denver game also. So, yeah, he has been an incredible force, and but you could see around All-Star Weekend just his energy and how he's energized right now. I think the way the team played, the Bucks have won 5 out of 6 games right now.
The best basketball they've played all year.
Yeah, so it's an exciting time going into the second half of the season.
Couldn't agree more. He's Craig Karmazin. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll be right back after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We need to optimize the PID controller for smoother robotic movements.
Our data analysis shows a significant correlation between the variables in both control groups.
The test shows you've experienced an acute myocardial infarction.
As you'll see on the syllabus, this course will largely focus on the Mesozoic era.
Get your child the access every child deserves. Enroll your K through 8th grade child by February 28 at Milwaukee College Prep, mkeprep.com/enroll.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night 04 Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Homer here from ESPN Wisconsin. Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business for 130 years, Horicon Bank has helped Wisconsin businesses grow, doing banking differently since 1896. If you're a local business, that same local approach is part of the Milwaukee business community, bringing decisions closer to you. Financing approved in days, not weeks. Bankers who understand your business. Products built for real cash flow needs. When it comes to commercial lending, Horicon Bank gets the job done. Together, doing good for 130 years.
Big news from Carbless, a fan favorite and one of my favorites. Blood Orange flavor is now its own dedicated 4-pack, crafted with real spirits for a true cocktail taste. Blood Orange brings bold, citrus-forward flavor with a smooth, premium finish. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, only 100 calories, and gluten-free. Now it's even easier to stock up on the flavor everyone keeps asking for. Look for Carbless Blood Orange 4-pack at your local retailer now. Once you try it, you'll understand why Blood Orange has earned its own pack. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip. Find it near you at drinkcarbless.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And guess who didn't hit the hole? Zeke Elliott.
Ashton.
Well, I mean, yes. You all right back there?
That's so true.
It was a direct shot. She took out the sniper rifle and just...
She got right up to me, took out a Glock, and just shot.
Yeah, right in the balls. On 94.5 ESPN.
Craig Karmazin leaving the studio here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and we are leaving you for the week. Wildy and Tausch is next. Did we put anything on the Infinity Exteriors poll today?
We had, was it the Packers offensive line thing?
How concerned are you?
How concerned are you?
Do you know how it turned out, Will, or you're just
I think I forgot to click send on that one, to be completely honest with you.
I mean,
Hand up.
Had I seen it on the Twitter account, I would have read it myself. But since I didn't, that was a pretty clear indication.
Put it out. Yada, yada. Oh, I'm stressed. I'm freaking out.
Wildy and Tausch is next. Good grief.
All right, we're looking pretty good out there right now. We do have an accident, or had an accident on northbound 41 at Good Hope. That's